And lots of global headlines in 2014 that we spent a lot of time talking about right here on Arirang News. And of course, joining us for this recap is none other than Paul E. Welcome. Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you very much. Happy New Year, guys.
So, Paul, you've been giving us the latest international news month after month, really bringing us all of the latest global headlines.
And what are some of the stories that really stood out to you?
Well, in terms of international headlines, I can't leave out the crisis in Ukraine, which took us into 2014. And then in the summer, we saw the dramatic rise of the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. And in the second half, we saw the incredible explosive outbreak of Ebola in West Africa. And finally, rounding out the year, we saw the final chapter of the pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong. Just truly unprecedented events.
Exactly.
Well, let's start with the Ukraine crisis. Quite some alarming moments when you really consider national sovereignty.
Exactly. I mean, the shocking annexation of Crimea by Russia, and we're seeing worst states in terms of the relations between Russia and the West.
That's right, and also led to this ongoing conflict between the Ukrainian government forces and the pro-Russian rebels in the east. And for more details, let's take a look at this report on these key events.
The year started off with violent and sometimes deadly clashes after clashes between anti-government protesters and authorities, with Kiev's Independence Square the focal point of much of the initial violence. It was then President Viktor Yanukovych's decision to seek closer ties with Russia and abandon a trade agreement with the European Union that caused the unrest and sparked what is now deemed the Ukraine Revolution of 2014 in February. Amid the clashes, Yanukovych is ousted as president and flees the country. Presidential powers are then given to this man, Alexander Turchinov. The protests did not stop, however. Pro-Russia supporters continued their rallies against the new Ukrainian government, and Russia's military started encroaching into Ukraine, occupying strategic sites across the Crimean Peninsula. In March, a referendum on the future of the peninsula showed that at least 95% of voters in Crimea supported a union with Russia. Although the EU and the US condemned the referendum as illegal, it led to Russia's Vladimir Putin formally annexing Crimea. Come May, Petro Poroshenko wins the Ukrainian presidential election. In July, Malaysian Airlines Flight 17 is shot down, presumably by pro-Russian forces, over eastern Ukraine. Most of the passengers were Dutch and all the crew members were Malaysian. Fighting continues amid failed ceasefire attempts between the warring sides. Most recently, tensions between Russia and Ukraine flared up again as Kiev voted to abandon its neutral status and took a step toward joining NATO. Although membership is seen unlikely, experts say the latest step will only escalate tensions and worsen Ukraine's deep political crisis.